the progression Dom, Wild, C, Pro. There are 5 sections in this book. After meter learning, the progression is color-coded for difficulty, just like Jiu-Jitsu, blue, purple, brown, and black. From the science of El Bulli, the famed Spanish restaurant that was harder to get into than Harvard, 3 to the fish markets of Calcutta to the backcountry of South Carolina, no stone was left unturned in search of powerful simplicity. Below we'll examine what our journey together will look like. The menu. L'antipasto metal. This is where I introduce every important principle I've discovered about accelerating learning. It starts with smart drug self-experimentation at Princeton inhaling hormones. Anyone? Progresses to language learning, and branches off into everything imaginable, sports, memorizing numbers, learning smells, deconstructing food, even cramming 6 months of culinary school into 48 hours. If you're only interested in cooking, you can skip this section, but I highly suggest you give it a read at some point. It is the backbone of this book. El Primo. The domestic dumb. Dumb is where we learn the building blocks of cooking. These are the ABCs that can take you from the simplest words to Shakespeare. The goal of this section is ambitious, to deliver all the fundamental building blocks of culinary school in 4 hours of total prep time, 14 core dishes x 5, 20 minutes. This is the literal portion of the 4-hour chef. Here, we also begin to answer the question that Cherry Yard, the executive pastry chef of Spago in Beverly Hills, put to me when I explained the premise of the book, How Do You Cut Time Without Cutting Corners? The secret is in sequencing. If you stop reading here, you will know how to cook for all intents and purposes, and will earn back the price of this book manifold. El Secondo. The Wild. Wild. Wild is where you will become not only good with your hands, but also self-sufficient in your own hands. If you've ever wondered about urban foraging, fermentation, hunting, or pigeons as food, this will probably be your favorite section. Il Contorno. The Scientist. C. If Wild is the die-hard pragmatist, C is the mad scientist and modernist painter wrapped into one. Rather than preparing you for Spartan minimalism, this section is about rediscovering whimsy and wonder, 2 ingredients sorely lacking past childhood. Il Dolce. The Professional Pro. Swaraj, a term usually associated with Mahatma Gandhi, can be translated as self-rule. Think of it as charting your own path. In Pro, we'll look at how the best in the world become the best in the world, and how you can evolve far beyond this book. There's much more to cooking besides food. Take Chef Grant Achatz plating your table, which is covered in gray latex, by dropping and shattering a dark chocolate pie neat full of assorted desserts. Its texture, theater, and so much more, all wrapped into one. We'll finish up with tools for perfecting your own creative powerhouse. The micro goal on becoming a chef. Julia Child wasn't always Julia Child. In fact, she could barely boil an egg when she got married. Late in her career, she became a chef and changed how the English-speaking world viewed cooking. In restaurants, the distinction between cook and chef is important. Someone who can cook is a cook, whereas someone who can create a menu and run a kitchen is a chef. Calling yourself the latter when you're the former, as many TV hosts do, is a no-no. In some circles, the cook is a technician, however good, and the chef is the conductor. The former is the bricklayer, the latter the architect of the cathedral. In the 4-hour chef, I use chef in the most literal sense, like the Spanish chef. Derived from the Latin term for head, it signifies boss or leader. This book aims to make you self-reliant, whether in the kitchen or in life, to wrestle control from chaos, to feel like a director instead of an actor, and perhaps to create something bigger than yourself. In their wonderful book Culinary Artistry, Andrew Dornenberg and Karen Page provide a table with 3 hypothetical categories of chefs. My goal is to move you from the far left to the right, and the customer quotes will be your own. The most important part of all is that you finish your meals with the bottom right sentiment. Even if you end your journey at Burgers Damn Fine Burgers, mind you life can and should be wonderful. We'll use training in the kitchen, as training for everything outside of the kitchen.